Anyone that's bought a cycling computer over the last few years or so will know that it's either come complete bundled with a heart rate sensor, or at least have the ability to record heart rate. Now, if you're not using this functionality, or worse still using it incorrectly, it could at best just be another set of meaningless numbers going up and down on your cycling computer and confusing you, while at worst it could actually be a waste of your hard-earned money, which is really a shame, because if you were to use it properly, it could actually make you a far better cyclist. Most people that ride a bike for fitness want to do two things. They want to ride further and they want to ride faster. And traditionally what they've done before is just got on their bikes and they've ridden mile after mile after mile. And yes, that will build up your endurance. Alternatively, they've also got on their bikes and they've ridden it for as hard as they can, for as long as they can. And yes, that will, in the long run, build up your strength, your speed and your stamina, but it could also lead to some strains and injuries. Using your heart rate is just the smarter way of doing things. When you use the heart rate functionality on your cycling computer, what you're actually doing is listening to your body and structuring your training so that you get exactly the right amount of effort for the right amount of time to achieve your fitness goals. And all this starts by calculating your maximum heart rate. Now, there are actually a couple of ways that you can go about doing this. If you're a bit hardcore and reckless, you can do what they call a maximal test. And this is best done on a turbo trainer indoors with a chum there. And you really will need your chum because you're in real danger of passing out at the end of it. It's not for the faint-hearted. The way you do it is get on your turbo trainer and start ramping up the efforts for about 15-20 minutes until you feel that you just can't ride any harder or any faster. And when you reach that point, you push it for another 10-15 seconds even harder, and then just before your vision goes all blurry and the room goes black, the number that you see on your cycling computer is your maximum heart rate. Now obviously the main disadvantage with this method is that it is pretty tough, but the advantage though is that it's fairly accurate. But if for some bizarre reason you don't quite fancy that, and quite frankly who would blame you, you could always use the old Carvonen formula, which is basically 220 minus your age. So using me as an example, I'm 53, 220 minus 53 means that my maximum heart rate is 167 beats per minute. Now the advantage of using the Carvonen formula is obviously it's a very, very simple little math sum. The disadvantage though is that it can be very inaccurate. For me personally, I would use the Carvonen formula as a bit of a starting point and then fine tune it using my cycling computer. So again, using me as an example and my Carvonen formula calculation of 167 beats per minute, I would be paying very close attention to my heart rate numbers when I was pushing it hard going up climbs. If you're not confident enough to keep your eye on your cycling computer throughout your ride, many of them will conveniently record the maximum heart rate, and Strava will also do the same. The advantage of using this method is obviously it's going to be far easier than doing a maximal test. Plus, you're using real-world on-the-bike data. I know from my personal experience, when I'm indoors on a turbo trainer, my heart rate tends to be a fair bit lower than when I'm actually out on the road. Once you have your maximum heart rate number, you can then go ahead and start calculating all of the fitness training zones. Now, because you have your maximum heart rate number, these will be very specific to you and they will give you very specific training benefits. But I'll cover all of this in another vlog on another day. Thanks for watching.